Hey, Ray, you know I love you, right?
Sometimes.
No, you should always know that. No matter what I say, I always love you.
I know, I know, I know, I know.
Even when we're on the opposite side of things, just know that, like, I'll fight with you and I'll still love you. Just know that.
Oh, same goes here, man. You know, no.
Did you ask me how I started arm wrestling? Is that what you asked me?
Yeah. Like, what captured your attention?
There was, I want to say that the first thing that happened is I fell in love with thinking that strength was super cool. So that's kind of the precursor for me to to arm wrestling. Like, I don't know that I would have loved arm wrestling if I didn't think strength was super cool first. So I think I think there's like two super early trigger points for me in my mind. And that was the association with being a dude and being strong. Like somewhere, I looked at my dad and I was like, my dad is strong. I want to be like my dad. And then I found pumping iron tucked away in the library, and I was like, okay, wow, all right, I want to be really strong, you know. And then so the first time I touched arm wrestling was probably shortly after that with my grandmother, and yeah, just that expression of strength, that expression of going super hard and not getting in trouble. Because a lot of times going hard gets you in trouble no matter what you're doing. But the fact that arm wrestling was one of those things that you could kind of redline at and it was acceptable, I think that as a little kid, I loved that. And then I was 18, and that's when I found like a professional arm wrestler in this guy Dion Langell, who actually I just got to see again after, geez, probably like I haven't seen him in like 20 years. It was great. Got to see him again on my last trip out west. This is the guy who really showed me how cool arm wrestling was. That it was that you could get really good at it. Like it just like when you first step into professional arm wrestling and you realize that a guy who's smaller than you can show you levels of strength and you can feel it that are just completely mind-boggling. And I think that was really what sold me, was my experience with Dion, that I was like, oh my God, I have to master this. And I had already like fallen in love with strength. So to be able to feel the strength so clearly from another person was super appealing to me.
Were you doing some? Most likely you were doing some gym training, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my
But
God.
you didn't go the route of full bodybuilding or full powerlifting or whatever. Or did you try that?
I mean, I was young, right? So like
Oh, young.
I'd been, yeah, I mean, I was asking my parents for a weight set probably from the time I was 6 years old. Like every birthday, I'm like, hey, can I have a weight set now? I wanna get strong. Like, no, you're too small. No, it's gonna stunt your growth. No, no, no. So I was like, doing farm work, and the whole time I'm always thinking like, this will make me stronger. Like carrying more wood will make me stronger. Like splitting more logs will make me stronger. Um, it was always on my mind. I got my first weight set when I was probably, I think, 13 or 14. And, the day that I got my first weight set, honestly, I can probably count on like two hands how many days I've missed for the rest of my life. And at the beginning, and actually most of my life, I've trained my whole body. It's just these last like probably 5 or, well, the older I've gotten, the more I've just specialized. But most of my life, I trained my whole body. I thought bodybuilding was super cool. I was into a lot of athletics when I was younger. Like I did basketball, I did fighting. I did basically, I mean, I was a soldier, right? So as a soldier, everything needs to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did triathlon as well, yeah? That was
Yeah, I did. I actually, I won the military Ironman one year.
Hmm.
I did it for 2 years, really. But yeah, I won an event where the duration is like just about 6 hours. So yeah, there was a couple years there when I got really, really fit, and I was running like all day, every day, like with weight, and yeah, really healthy. I miss a lot of parts of that. Like I miss walking. I miss,
Hmm.
yeah. I'll do more of it probably as time goes on. I'll get back to that because I think it's super healthy. But I won't compete or anything like that. But I want to tie it with arm wrestling is what I'm definitely all about. But I'd like to walk more, definitely.
Yeah, we use too much of our upper body. The lower body doesn't get the love it deserves and needs. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it just feels good, right? It feels good to walk. And I think that walking is probably something that will actually push your arm wrestling because it'll just extend your life.
Hmm.
And with extended life and extended health, you can probably go further in the sport.
When you're doing Ironman and all everything that involved running, how was your arm wrestling doing at the time?
Not the best. Not the best. So I would say, people know me in the arm wrestling world as being like an endurance guy, like a slow twitch guy, right? And I would say that actually naturally, like if you went back to like when I was a kid, like I wouldn't say that I was gifted with great fast twitch or endurance capabilities, either one. But if there was one way or the other, I could throw exceptionally hard. I could hit things hard. I could do things where I think I was definitely fast twitch, but the military really shifted me.
Hmm.
Like all my military training, all the Ironman stuff, it made me way more slow twitch, way more. And it's difficult to kind of come back from it. Like I remember, like I played a lot of basketball, and I could really jump. Like I could dunk from pretty far away, and the first year I ran Ironman, it took me down. And then the second year I ran the Ironman and actually won it, and I really dialed in on my training, my fast twitch capabilities were massively damaged. Massively. Like I couldn't jump worth a crap. I could barely dunk at the end. My explosiveness and strength took a massive hit. You cannot specialize to a degree in endurance and not have it affect your strength. But the rebound capability is for real. So if you do all this work and your organs and your body get used to all that, when you do kind of shift back, like you'll come back really, really well. So yeah, during that time period and throughout a lot of my career, I have been affected for sure by the endurance activities that I've done, outside of arm wrestling. Yeah.
I have
But
heard
that's done now. That's done.
that's done.
That's done.
I have heard crazy story about you doing 1,000 push-ups.
Oh, I did more than that. Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you tell that story? Because I
Yeah.
heard it from the guys that were in Sweden, where you told the first story and then you did it the second time. That's true.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I used to do a lot of push-ups. Now, geez, now I can barely even do one. But so the way it went was I got into, so I was in the reserves and I transferred to the regular force. I was 20, I think, 20 or 21. And so right away when I got there, they do our physical testing. and they test your max strict pull-ups, your max strict push-ups, sit-ups. Like I think back then we were doing a 2.4 kilometer run, all these things, just to see like physically where you're at. And I remember, sorry, go ahead.
The baseline, to see the baseline.
Yeah, they like physical, like they're always checking you, like before you go on certain courses, before you do applications to different jobs, they want to know how fit you are. So I remember in my basic, when I got there, I was like, I don't remember exact score. It was somewhere plus or minus 2 or 3 from 35. So it was like either 33 or 38 push-ups. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, this is terrible. I am not that guy. I am not some 35 push-up guy. That's not me. And I was super upset about it. And I decided just to do push-ups like crazy. I had this system where a lot of the guys that I was going through basic with, we were all on board. A lot of us were in the same boat. We didn't want to be those 35 push-up guys. We wanted to be, we wanted to be super push-up guys. And so every time we got together, every time like we came face to face, we'd drop and we'd hold the position. So I do 10, they do 10, 9, 9, 8. And that ends up being 55 push-ups when you do it like that. So throughout the day, we were doing like tons and tons of push-ups all the time. And it got to the point where at night, we do one big one. All the guys who were doing it would get together and we do one big session. And every night we try and start from a higher number, higher number, higher number. So we were like 11, 12. And it got to a point where guys started to drop out. And eventually it was just me. And I was the only one who was still doing it. And I remember the course started in like the fall or something. And it was the couple days before we went home for Christmas vacation. And the guys were watching a movie. And I was just in the back doing these push-ups. And that night I started from 25. So I did 25, rest for a second in the up position, 24, rest, 23. And that ends up being, I think it was 325 push-ups. And I remember standing up when I was done and I had the most amazing pump I think I've almost ever had in my life. It's like everything was just so engorged and full and I felt so fucking strong. And I kind of broke a barrier that night. So after that, I was like, okay, whatever. I can just do push-ups. I can do as many push-ups you want me to do. And I started just being like, okay, I'll do 600, 700, 1,000, 1,400. Like, got to a point where the thing that was limiting me was I'd have to take a dump. That's what it always was. It was like, I'd do push-ups so long and my guts would tighten up for such a long time that I'd have to like go and take crap.
Pretty much get
yeah.
This was in one session, pretty much. You didn't break the position if you
never break the position. I do like 10, catch my breath for a second, do another 10, catch my breath, 10. I'd be doing push-ups for over an hour, like just sweating and I got to a point where it's basically aerobic for me. And then the further and further I got along with arm wrestling, the more I just stopped doing them. And because I realized that they weren't really helping my arm wrestling. And I mean, it was fun. I used to do a lot of push-ups. I used to do a ton there was a period there. It was probably like a period from probably about 96 till probably sometime around 98 or 99, where I like really did a lot of push-ups. Yeah.
The story that I heard, and you can say how much was it true or fix it a little bit. So you walk into a bicycle store and you want to buy
not a bicycle store.
No,
it wasn't a bicycle store. No.
So I already missed.
it was another shack. It was a common area, and I was going to buy a motorcycle.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and I bet that I could do 10 times as much as the guy who could do the most. The guy did 140 push-ups. Yeah, so I did 1,400 that day.
And
yeah.
and you tell, I think someone asked you about this story in Sweden, and you told this story, and they said bullshit, and you said, how about you do how much you can do, and I'll do 10 times more.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
No,
okay.
No, I didn't do any push-ups that day. I don't think.
Oh.
No, I don't think I did any push-ups in Sweden. Is that what you heard? That's
what I heard. That's what I heard. Because they were telling me the story. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, I kind of can believe it, but I have to check with Devon.
No, it's not true. I used to do a ton of push-ups. Back, if you had caught me, between 20 and 25, yeah. Like, and Jody, I mean, Jody can verify all of it. I mean, she was around. Like, I'd do push-ups for like an hour at night quite often.
There is medical condition where some people do not develop high levels of lactic acid, or their body doesn't fight lactic acid. Could you be one of those people? Because I have seen you on arm wrestling table when you arm wrestle for an hour, and every time you group with someone, they will start, you will start looking like you're getting stronger throughout the match every time.
I don't know. I'll give you the best information I can. So here's what I know. Look, so one thing that I think that people like to think that there's gifts in this world. A lot of people like to believe in gifts, and some people believe in hard work, and maybe it's a combination of things. I train a lot. Like, I don't think I've ever met anybody who trains as much as me. I really don't. Like, with great degree of honesty, I don't think I've ever met anybody who trains as much as I do. Now it's interesting right now because of the experiment that I'm doing, where I'm only training my right arm. My left arm is very good still. It's probably better than it's ever been. However, my left arm will get tired. So when we arm wrestle, like if I'm going to a club and I arm wrestle right and left, my right doesn't get tired. It doesn't. Like, I can arm wrestle for 2 hours and it doesn't get tired. But my left will. My left will start, like, it's still good, but it's not what my right is. Another thing that's interesting to me is, so I had some testing done while I was with the Special Forces. So, and their physical testing is a little bit more advanced than the stuff that you normally get. So at the time when I got to the Special Forces, this is a time when I had won the military Ironman. So I placed first place, and I was big. I was like, I was probably weighing in at 230 pounds, winning an Ironman. So I knew, and my heart was good. Like, I was probably sub 40. I was probably like high 30s, like 37, 38 beats a minute back then. On my run times, I was fast. Like, when I did my selection for the Special Forces stuff, I was always at the front. All the runs, everything, I was always right at the front of the pack. So we did some testing when, like, we got there, and they wanted to, like, kind of go into more depth of exactly what we all physically were. So they did a lot of different testing, and the test that really stood out to me was the VO2 test. Okay, so VO2 is your ability to, use oxygen, burn oxygen as fuel, which, going into it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna totally crush this test because I'm the fastest guy in the runs, and I just won the Ironman. So I'm like, I'm going to have a great VO2 score. I had the lowest VO2 on the entire course, and I had the second lowest VO2 that they had ever tested. And I was like, right away, I was like, whoa, you screwed it up. There's no fucking way my VO2 is this low. I'm like, check it again. And they're like, okay, we check it. We'll check it again. So I redid the test, same score. Okay. And they're like, no. But the thing is so like my VO2 at the time, I think it was like 47 or 48. And I don't understand a lot about the VO2 scores, but like, not that 47 or 48 is terrible, but 47 or 48 for what I was doing did not add up. Most of the guys on course were like mid 50s, low 60s. That's what most of the guys had. There was even a guy, I think a bit higher, who was one of our freaks. He had like stupid VO2. But yeah, so mine was super low. So, I mean, the theory is that probably I'm using a different energy system. Probably there's something going on with my lactate system that is probably super dialed in. Like I probably have a lactate system that is doing a lot of the work. I don't know. You'd have to be like somebody with some kind of knowledge of this stuff. But yeah, it's true. I mean, I definitely have an ability to do prolonged high level work. It's always been that way.
Yeah, I think, and at that point, it's very hard to distinguish. Is it genetics or is it just hard work? You know, maybe you can, because you, like you said, you don't know anyone who trains as much, and if you
No.
do so much work, it's kindly hard to distinguish where is the truth. But
Yeah.
what we know, most people can handle that. Is that your head or that's your body?
I've always, like my entire life, I think that if you talk about gifts, okay, and going back, okay, the last 5 years, you got to throw a lot of this stuff out because everything's changing, okay? But my whole life, I've had a really good ability to recover. Like I can train very, very hard, go to sleep, and the next day I can do it again. I've always had this ability from the time I can remember. Like I always have been able to train to failure, go to sleep, have a good rest, wake up, do it again. I don't know. I don't know what it means. We all have our gifts, right? Everybody's got their gift. Yeah.
It's how you use it, and can you find the best use for it? Some people have amazing gifts, but they just don't understand how to use them.
Yeah. Same thing, only harder, right?
Same thing. Yeah. It's really hard, when someone asks me like, "Can I train like Devon?" I said, like, if you can handle it, all that volume. Most bodies break. Same thing goes. Bulgarian system where you arm wrestle like every day, like for hours, so many sets. Like most guys will break, but eventually you will have some diamonds.
Yeah. Some people thrive with volume. Some people need it. It's really tough because I think it's so much what you believe in. And I don't know. I mean, maybe if I had embraced a different style of training, I'd be good too. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of ways to make it work. I just have such a strong yearning for volume that I don't tell my body no. Like I look forward to it. Like I'm eager for the next session all the time. I'm looking forward to it. So I don't deny my body that. I think that's an important thing, is understanding that your body will speak to you. And it'll tell you what it wants. If it wants rest, listen to it. If it is not excited about training, then don't do it. A lot of people, there's this contradiction between discipline and listening to your body. Discipline will tell you get up, do hard work, get in there and do it anyways, which for sure has some merit, but there's a lot of merit to trusting and believing in what your body's telling you. Like, your body says it wants a break, give it a break. Your body says it wants to go hard, go hard.
It pretty much, if you're not looking forward to a workout session, you should not be doing that session. That's how, you know, if you like, you know, I'll go train and I'm excited for everything I have to do. And if there's something that I don't like, there's a reason, you know, why my body is shouting like I hate this exercise. Either a weakness, ego thing, you know, or overwork. But yeah, I completely agree. We need to find a thin line. Discipline, you know, being consistent, most important thing in anything. But your body will tell you more than you ever know, you know.
Yeah. But I've made so many mistakes, right? Okay. And I've made every mistake. Like, all that stuff that I've done that you know, I glorify or other people talk about, a lot of it was really dumb. And I wasn't listening to my body, right? There's been times when I've been like just stupid disciplined, like beating the piss out of my body. Like, my body's screaming no, and I'm like, fuck you, you know, like, you will. So it's very hard to say with any degree of accuracy what the truth is on what results in superior performance. But like, for sure, like, a lot of the things I've done have made me better, but a lot of them have been way too much, way too much. I think that most of the damage that I've done is not volume related, but it's intensity related. I think that most of the mistakes that I've had is doing things to failure. I think that if I could go back and try and remove the failure points, I think I'd be better today. Like, yeah, so many things I've done. I look back. I mean, I remember I used to have this, what's the grate that goes to sewers? You know, those sewer grates?
Yeah.
You know, like those round,
Okay,
like, grates on the street. I had a sewer grate and like a big portion of a railroad tie. I'm young. I'm like, you know, 23 and just stupid motivated to just be a killer. And a buddy of mine used to come over and we'd do all sorts of really, really hard training. Like, we'd be like on the floor, like with this grate, like pushing it up. And like the other guy's over top with the railroad tie hitting down as you're pushing up. So like bang, 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 and like rust and stuff is falling in your face. And it's like super hardcore. It's like super hardcore. But like, when I look back, I'm like, Devon, you're so dumb. Like, why did you do that stuff? Like, it's just, that's not the failure point. Make the failure point when it really matters. Like, yeah, a lot of dumb stuff, right?
But the dumb stuff is needed. Dumb stuff makes us understand. I think first of all, I think every successful, not only arm wrestler, but every successful athlete person is obsessed. They're obsessed. You know, they just want to be the best there. They're willing to risk it all. They're willing to try it all. They're putting everything in line. We kind of going in a little bit better way where people are trying to be a little bit smarter, but it's still a little bit smarter, because sometimes, you know, someone will train like really, really smart and then they will just go full crazy mode. And everyone's like, how did he get so good? You know, I think we need everything. I think we need, you know, and we're so different, all of us, that it's necessary to have these things, you know?
Yeah. It's just, I feel like we're in a good time where people at least have more information to look at. And so long as people are open and honest in their stories, you start to have like a little bit more information to have at your fingertips with a Google search, you know, when you're trying to learn about these subjects. Be like, okay, this guy did it like this, this guy did it like this. But what you start to notice is that there are a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways. I think so long as you have that goal, that's where it all starts.
I think I think you said this, every training program works if you believe in it.
Mm.
I think one interview or something you said,
Yeah.
the placebo effect, the trust effect, it's the best one, especially when you're coaching someone and they are not looking all around for answers. They kind of have this. So most of the times those are the best athletes if you talk with them, because they're just doing what they're told. They're not wasting anything. At some point they need to get smarter, but they can be smart about the thing. The trust is the big one. When you start doubting yourself, when you start doubting your coaches, when you start doubting things, it's messy. You get on table and you start doubting yourself, like I will top roll, and then you're like, I don't feel like I should maybe hook, and that you're like, at the end you just flop rest or something, because doubt
conviction. Yeah,
is a killer.
Powerful thing.
Okay, man. So you have the pretty much the biggest match of all time coming up.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Levan's incredible. I'm really excited to face him. I'm really excited to face who I genuinely believe is the best that's ever lived. I'm really excited about it, and from all accounts, I've pissed him off enough that I think he'll be pretty fired up when I get to pull him. So I think that we will be able to say, because I think Levan has cleared out the East. He's cleared it out. And I think that people would generally agree that I've cleared out the West. And if anybody wants to talk about Dave Chafee, well, then Levan's cleared him out. So I think that I am the last man standing for Levan, and likewise. So I think that whoever wins this match, there should be basically no. I think that they can say this is the number one spot with less claims on it than we've ever seen before. I think that whoever wins this should have the title with less people saying oh but than ever before.
Yeah, no buts on this one.
I think so. Yeah. I'm better than I've ever been, right? I'm better than I've ever been. Better even today than when I faced Michael Todd. Today. Better by far than when I faced John Brzenk. I feel healthy. I'm stronger. I'm good. I will be very difficult to beat. So, and I know he's huge. And I know, like, every time I start to think about the size and I put it in perspective, like, I understand he's a mountain. But I'll tell you, if I stop that match, he's fucked. He's fucked and he knows it. If that match stops, I will win because I'm a better arm wrestler than he is. And I will bleed him until a point where I can make him look stupid. And that's a reality. Can I stop him? I don't know. He might break my arm.
And you're willing to break your arm.
Oh my God, I got nothing else going on. I have this strong desire. I've come to realize about myself a lot as I've gotten older. And I think that people are genuinely motivated. When I say people, I'm talking about myself, to destroy themselves. Like, I am genuinely motivated to destroy myself. It's just the way we are. Whether you can wrap your mind around that or not, but I wouldn't do the things that I do my whole life if I wasn't some kind of a self-destructive dude. The things I do, my actions speak way louder than any of my words. I love to fight. I love it so much. Put me into an opportunity where I get to face, a high degree of risk, potential public shame, potential injury. Sign me up. Sign me up today. Like it's when I feel alive. It's what I seek out. So yeah, let's go, Levan. Fucking kill me, you big ugly fuck. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. And if he lets me kill him, I'll sink my teeth into that big boy and I will freaking murder him in front of everybody. Like, that's what I want. Yeah. I want that fight.
It's,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, but I guess it's not, I was thinking maybe you're adrenaline junkie, because clearly you are, but it's also some kind of other excitement, hunter and a prey. You just had this boxing match with Thor.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
who does that?
Everything starts in your childhood. And if you really want to understand yourself, you have to go back. And I haven't done enough of it, right? I haven't done enough of it. I'm not a psychologist, but I'm pretty sure that if you look at most people who are obsessed with something, most people who are extreme high level performers in any field, and I'll be arrogant enough to say that I'm one of them, you can probably go back to something that happened between 0 and 6 years old or something like that, that left them potentially missing something, potentially
Unfulfilled?
yeah, they're not whole people. We're not whole people. We're missing something, and we're constantly seeking. And there's few things that can fill this hole. And depending on what your trauma is or what you're lacking, you are gonna shape your life in a way that you're forever seeking it, forever seeking to fill that void. And maybe it'll kill you, or maybe it'll give you your freedom. Maybe you'll find that spot and you'll fly, and you'll be in heaven. But hey, every time you fly, you can fall. What do they say in that Rammstein song? The one who climbs has far to fall. I think that you have to
You have to
be willing to.
be willing to do both things.
Yes.
Yeah. When you
You
climb,
better be willing.
yeah,
You better be willing to fall and die if you want to fly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
Yeah.
But
But it's good. I feel really alive. I'm very happy, super happy. And don't get me wrong. Okay, I want to die when I'm 300 years old. Okay, I don't have a death wish. It excites me. It excites me. But I'm very excited about this match. It's great opportunity to see, where I'm at, where he's at. I think it's a great snapshot of this era of arm wrestling. Really great snapshot. I mean, I've been arm wrestling for, geez, it's coming up. It's a good solid 25 plus years. Yeah, it's like more than 25. It's like 27 or 8 years now, where I've just been completely obsessed, for 28 years. And he is, this, he's our modern day champion. I think that I've gotten myself to a position of health where I might be able to beat him. I really might. There's a part of me that believes that I'm gonna win that match. So I just need to, keep cultivating it, letting it grow.
yeah,
2 more months.
Yeah, to win this match, you have all the tools. The difference always is the strength. Have you changed something in your training? Because you need that strength just to match him close enough to stop him. I think you shouldn't think you will be stronger, but just enough to stop him.
Yeah.
Have you tried something in training, for this specifically a little bit? Maybe get stronger, not more endurable, because you will still have all those gifts,
I'm changing a bit. There are some things that have changed. Yeah. We see the match the same way, right? Like, I have to be strong enough to stop him. And it's tough when you look at his numbers, okay? I mean, he's got a 300-pound curl and like 187-pound wrist curl for reps,
Biomechanically, the hand is so thick, so big, so the classic physics will not work with him, because you have to, everything is more, because he has more mass on his arms. Those wrists are big. You have met him a few times, I think.
Yeah. Super impressive. Obviously I need to find a stop. The match for me is about getting that stop so that I can out arm wrestle him in any position where it stops. Where, it's hard to say. I mean, you go back and you watch Levan's loss highlight reels. People have made videos about him losing. Obviously he hasn't lost in a while, but there's still evidence that there's potential. There's potential through the hand. There's potential through the arm. The pathways aren't completely closed. It's an interesting problem to solve, isn't it? How to defeat Levan.
Yeah.
It's an interesting proposal. And that's one of the reasons why the rules are so important. Because, the rules really need to be ironed out, because what I guarantee will happen, no matter the rule system that is chosen, is it will be stretched to its maximum capacity. So whatever the rule system, and we can get into it or not, but the one that we pick, at the end of it, we will have beaten the piss out of that rule system. So that's why it's really important to understand it, to plan your strategy and game and training, everything based around the parameters of the sandbox that you're operating in.
Yeah, the big debate right now is the auto strap after, which I think favors Levan for
that's the thing.
For one reason.
It very well
getting tired. He's not getting his hand pumped.
Right. And look at and I've had this discussion with a lot of people. They're like, why don't you just make it all slips go to straps? I don't have a problem with renegotiating the rules.
Yeah.
The problem is that we already have agreed on the rules.
Yeah.
We agreed on it contractually and verbally. And it's just so silly to talk about, because I know what the truth is. Levan knows what the truth is. And I offered to clear it up once and for all with the promoters, and Levan didn't want anything to do with it. So if he wants to renegotiate, I don't have the need to renegotiate. I'm fine with the rules. But we cannot change the rules after the contract is signed. If he wants to change the rules, that's fine. Rip up the contract. Let's make a new one. I'm open to renegotiation. You want to make it no auto strap? Let's negotiate. But I am going ahead. I'm proceeding with my understanding of what the rules are that we agreed on verbally and contractually. So, and those rule systems is what I've trained for. I've trained for auto strap. I've trained for, but people say auto strap, but what they don't understand is there's a small intricacy. Well, right? I mean, you've competed at King of Table. 30 seconds. And it got confusing there between King of Table 1 and 2.
It got like, I watched I didn't notice it. And then I was like,
it was when you mentioned, I was like, oh yeah, that's really weird. How did we miss that?
Because I remember I wanted to waste time and get the strap. But there was,
Right.
you cannot waste time. They
In a
just
set grip.
call you out because it's a set grip from the start.
Right. Set grip. Right.
And the starts were way more efficient. I'm like, why did you take this away?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So, I mean, I'm not fussed either way, whether it's a set grip or whether it's negotiate grip. The thing is, if it's a set grip, I mean, you can absolutely stretch, like if you want to stretch in a set grip, because the fouls in a set grip don't actually occur typically until the commands close your hands.
Yeah.
But in the negotiated grip, you must attempt to get a grip. Okay, so while it is 30 seconds auto strap, if a person's just like clearly not attempting to get a grip, you can receive a foul.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, with all this discussion, and I was kind of thrown in, I thought that, first of all, the athletes there, and I didn't notice this, because they're using different, it's not a set grip at the start, because I thought set grip at the start, very good. We have really fast, and most likely it's going to be a slip, and all problems solved. And then you ask me, why did you say something? Because you're already have a contract. And I thought, like, why would I fight for something that's already in a contract? Because it makes sense. And I know the only one that would get bothered with them changing the rules would be you. This is why it's the 7 rule.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I thought it was really weird. Like, because I know what I would have done. Like you were there for King of Table 2.
No.
Well, you weren't. Were you?
No.
I thought you were there for King of Table 2.
No, first and third.
Well, King of Table 2, they tried to change the rules. Yeah, they tried to change the rules like a day and a half before the event. And I was like, no, not changing the rules. I'm like, for one, we have to reimburse everything. For two, I've done my entire training for this.
Yeah.
We discussed this. We agreed to this. Like, I've got verbal written stuff that says, same rules as King of Table 1. I'm like, we're doing King of Table 1 rules. You don't change it like 2 days before the event. I was shocked. I thought that some athlete would have been like, no, I've trained for this. But yeah, everybody was cool. I guess it just really shows how much of a whiny dude I am.
You
I'm
just
terrible.
pay attention to details. Most people don't care about those details. Like Larry kind of allowed the rules to change, and it served him bad.
Oh, worst decision he could have made for himself.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason why we knew we had to change the stakings, because I figured that all arm wrestlers should know in a strap versus Khaled and Larry's got a massive advantage.
Yeah.
Gonna get a lot of, you don't have a strap with Khaled. Oh my God. You make any arm wrestle Khaled without a strap. 98% of guys are in big trouble.
Yeah.
Big trouble. Yeah. You're not gonna be able to slip. You might think you can, but you won't be able to. His hand is stupid. Like, you're gonna have a problem. If it's all slips go to straps, well, maybe, yeah, probably okay. But if you make it like ref grip, WAF, like underhand slips, you've got some major problems. So yeah, Larry totally screwed himself for that match. Totally. But I don't think Larry cares. I think Larry was just like, whatever,
I think so too.
I don't think he cares at all.
He's one of the best guys at, who handles loss like a champ. He's like, yeah, happened,
Yeah.
And everyone wants to see him win. That's the thing.
Yeah.
All the community, no one's like, I don't, fuck Larry. No, everyone's like, Larry.
Yeah. Everybody wants to see Larry succeed for sure. I mean, I'm a big fan of Khaled also. Like, I like when that match came on, I was really excited because obviously Larry has done so much, and Larry's such a great athlete, and I cheer every time he succeeds. But I also know that Khaled has got a frightening potential. Like, people say, hey, could he be a WAF champion? Could he do this? Could he do that?
I think he can.
My answer is always yes. Yes, he could.
And everyone thought like he will not train, and that was kind of thing that he kind of said. He was training. He was prepared. He was arm wrestling once a week. That's what I heard from local guys.
Yeah, I think he was
And,
probably
and
doing
it
it.
showed, and it showed composure on the table, everything. Remember those practice pulls he did, all over the place. Can I take a
Yeah.
and just
Well,
efficient and
if he arm wrestles Schoolboy, I'm gonna say, Schoolboy better do it now.
Schoolboy better needs a hook. If he needs a hook.
He better do it like today, because I'm telling you, every month that goes by with Khaled even paying this much attention to arm wrestling, it is so dangerous. It's so dangerous. I really believe he is in the 0.00 something percentile of guys with arm wrestling potential. Like,
I
people say,
cannot agree more. I cannot agree more.
Yeah.
We had these debates when Ryan usually, we have big guys in Brisbane. I'm like, there's a difference between big guy and someone that can lift, grip strength stuff without any training, just coming out of the gate. Who can arm wrestle that? There's a huge difference. You cannot compare those things. I know a bunch of big dudes that are, should be strong, not. He's one.
no,
Yeah. I just hope
no.
he stays with us. I just hope he stays with us.
I think he's going to have success in whatever field he chooses. I think he'll be a great MMA fighter. I really do. I think he's got all the tools to do really well there too. And I think that he's gotten enough of a good feeling from arm wrestling that I think he's forever going to be kind of, tied in with us.
Yeah.
If he does it now or he does it later or combined, I think either way we kind of got him a bit now, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go to Africa because I think that it's a very untapped population.
Yeah. I think we're gonna find way more.
Well, yeah, like you see Iron Bibby.
Yeah.
Iron Bibby.
Yeah. Freak.
Right. Mark Felix. I think that there's a lot of guys down in that part of the world that are, you get them in love with arm wrestling, I think they will absolutely shake things up. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's a natural progression. I think we're already experiencing this. Like I have seen the whole social media, YouTube, everything. I see some guys. I have a guy that came from Finland. He lives in Latvia. He saw me on King of Table 1. He just came to a training session. I don't know how much he has arm wrestled, but he's really good. Like he just watched King of Table 1 and then started, following and doing some stuff in the gym. Really good. And we see more and more of these, more and more. I think it's great. I think the sport will expand, and opportunities are finally there with the pay-per-view and all those things. Yeah, talking about that. So next week, me, Giannis, we're going to Arizona for Arizona State Championships. So I'm going to face Artem and Giannis will face Corey Miller.
Yeah.
Give me your raw predictions or your raw thoughts on that.
I just talked to Artem this morning. Artem wrote me and he said, "Who's going to win?" And I said, "You are, buddy." He's good. He's really good. He's gotten a lot better. It's going to be a hell of a match. I don't know. You got the flight. I don't know. What do you think? Ray? You guys got a history?
I feel really good. I feel way stronger than I was even in Hardanger in Norway. So I feel very good. The jet lag kind of, but
A little bit.
Yeah, but still I feel very confident just because of my arms feel really well. So I can top roll, I can hook, and I can press. So I have 3 options, which pretty much, knowing Latvian scene, I can do on a highest level, so I should be fine. And I'm willing to experiment and I'm willing to go in a hell with him. So
it's a good match. It's a very exciting match. I think it's close. Artem's always, you impressed me as well. It's a good match. You guys are quite different styles. Artem, bad news. It's bad news.
Yeah,
So,
I'm taking him very seriously.
you should. You should. It's a great match. A really, really nice match. I'm really gonna enjoy watching that one. Giannis and Corey, I have to think that Giannis is the favorite. It's interesting because Corey, at the time of the WAL, I would have said he was probably the #1 North American. Like during that whole era when the WAL was really kicking ass. But we never saw him compete.
That? Because he finishes too fast? Maybe not that good for TV?
No, I think I don't want to speak for him because I haven't spoken to him on why he was never there really. But I think it was probably contracts.
UL.
I think he probably didn't want to sign the contract. Yeah. There's a few guys in that boat. Like the guys who I always think who are missing at WAL. Right away, I think Herman Stevens. And I think Corey Miller. And for the first little bit, Michael Todd. It took Michael a while to come over because he was under contract with UAL. Herman just wouldn't come because of contracts. Pretty sure that was the reason. And I can only assume that Corey had the same reasons. But I genuinely believe that all of those guys, so Michael, Herman, and Corey, were guys who definitely would have screwed up the top three. Would they have won? I don't know, maybe not. But certainly these are guys who have a chance to win. And I would have said that in North America, during the time of the WAL, Corey was probably the best North American. Probably. I mean, if not, certainly a guy who's in the top three that should have been there. So it's kind of shocking to me that him and Giannis never met. But I have to think that Giannis is he's done more. He's been more active. You never know what a guy is doing in their basement. You never know. Like if a guy's just training away every day in his basement and nobody knows, well, you're going to get a shock. But I don't think that that's the case. I don't think he's been as professional as Giannis. So I have to think that Giannis has got the upper hand. Yeah. Yeah. But it's awesome. It's awesome because
it's a big one. It's a big one. I think it's a big one.
It's a huge one. It's a huge one, and it's one that's we've all been waiting for, and it's like we missed out, right?
Yeah.
So now we get yeah. And you and Kermit there, I think that's awesome. I think that's the great match. I think both guys, super cool dudes who are like, definitely influencers in the arm wrestling community. Quite different. You're both quite different. So yeah, it's the hot matches, man. Hot matches. Yeah. So that's next weekend, right?
That's next weekend. Yeah, we're leaving on Thursday and arriving on Thursday because it's minus 12 hours there.
What time is the match? Do you know?
The event starts 7 p.m. local time.
Oh, good. So it's later. That's good. Because we've got a seminar in Toronto. Todd Hutchins is coming up.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll be there.
Ooh.
And there's going to be a couple of our guys are going after Hutchins. So we've got Pork Chop and Brian.
Yeah, he can arm wrestle two guys. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Get some good training in with him. Get some good training in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
it's looking ridiculous.
Absolutely
ridiculous.
Super good. I mean, it'll be his show that day. I'll be really curious. I'll just be, I'll attend the seminar for sure, and I'll just kind of shut up and listen. And I don't want to. It'll be his show that day. I hope we do get a chance to get on the table, but he's got a lot of work to do that day, so we'll see. But I think we should probably be wrapped up by the time your show's on, so we'll all be tuning in.
Yeah, I haven't been back there since 2019, right before pandemic started, so
Yeah.
yeah. And
You
again,
gonna stick around a while?
huh?
You gonna stick around for a bit?
For about a week, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see Grand Canyon. Never seen that. Should be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not? I don't want to. Some said like, so you're gonna be home on Tuesday? I'm like, no. Like going all that trip and just leaving the next day. Fuck that.
Is it just you and Yanis?
It's just me and Giannis, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, if you guys want a pit stop up here, you got a place.
Yeah, I want to figure that out, but it's very hard this year. Like I'm traveling like crazy. I've been to every event possible, so it's really hard for me to find schedule because I really want to go there. Most likely it's gonna happen after Levan's match.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll be having a lot of fun after that. After Levan, we'll be having a lot of fun. We'll be doing a lot of good like stuff, like lighter stuff, like good time. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm most likely I'm gonna be in Dubai for that event as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for talking with me and sharing maybe some. Oh man, come on. Super question.
Yeah.
The last one, and we're gonna finish on it.
Yeah.
Why do you love arm wrestling?
Hard to say. It's hard to say. Why do I love it? I think that I really love it because I like pressure. You know, I like pressure, and I like pressure between people. And arm wrestling is a great way to build up pressure between people. It's just a very simple feeling, like when you lock in with somebody, and you push harder and harder and harder together, because there's something about together that is unique. There's no piece of equipment really that unless you talk about the strap, but even still, like, it's basically two people locking together and creating pressure between each other. And it's this, I think it's this base feeling that really hooks me. Obviously, it's the lifestyle is cool, meeting people is cool, learning about the sport is fun, setting challenges for yourself is great. Like, a lot to learn through the sport. But I think when you boil it all down and distill it and distill it and distill it, it comes down to, I like to feel pressure, and I like to feel pressure with I don't need to feel pressure by pushing against a wall. Like, I like to feel pressure with another person.
The fight, pretty much
the fight for sure. The fight is one thing, but I don't even know if it's the fight that is the most intriguing part of it. Because you can fight a lot of ways. It's probably a combination of things, but I think deep down there's something about pressure. There's something about just that elevation, and it's got the motivation that another person can give you is much different than a weight or what you can make yourself do. I think another person will always be able to push you just a little bit further than you will maybe yourself. And there's something about like a negative, where, like, because it's arm wrestling, you can kind of put more and more into it. The negatives have a distinct feeling to them. Yeah, pressure, man. I love pressure. I love it. Yeah.
Pressure makes diamonds. That's what we heard.
Yeah.
You know, while you were talking and, getting on table, I remember what I say, what is discipline? Discipline is walking away from arm wrestling table when you want to arm wrestle, but you shouldn't. That's discipline.
That's true. Yeah. That's good discipline for all the
That's one
psychos.
of the hardest things to do as an arm wrestler.
Right?
You're in gym, you're training, you're like, okay, I will arm wrestle later, or I have everything set up, and some guys are arm wrestling like, oh.
Yeah. There's layers to discipline, right? Like at first, when people like entry level discipline is like, go work hard, exercise, go to the gym. And then like advanced discipline is go the fuck home. Like sit in your bed, don't do nothing.
Yeah, recover.
This is advanced discipline. Because once you're crazy and like you will do it. You will. So you need those type of people who really love stuff. Their discipline is like the opposite way. Like stay in bed, like recover more. Don't get on the table, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
June 25, Dubai. You want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say it's great to talk to you, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, it's always a pleasure with you. I feel like most arm wrestlers are on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
We click very easily, and this goes out to arm wrestling community. If you're really an arm wrestler and you really arm wrestle, the community is one of the best things. Like I stay just for community. Don't look at people on internet that have never been on table, that have opinions that doesn't hold any water. Arm wrestling community is one of the greatest things. We can shit to each other, talk shit, but everyone is so friendly. Like I talk with Artem every day. We make jokes about each other. We're gonna go to war. But I feel like, I know him for so long. We're friends,
Yeah.
It's the best. So don't look at internet trolls.
Well, hey, this summer is going to be a big party. Like this summer, I'm going to do a lot of community work. I'm going to get out with a lot of clubs, have a lot of fun. So hopefully this summer our paths can cross and we can play together.
For sure.
John Milne bought a Corvette.
Oh,
And we're going to be like Thelma and Louise. Yeah.
Just going to travel North America.
Yeah.
Sounds like John. Okay, June 25, Levan Saginashvili, Devon Larratt. Devon will climb the Mount Everest with just a strap.
Yeah.
Just the strap. Tune in for that. Next week, Arizona State, me and Giannis live on Arm Wrestling TV. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Stay strong and
love arm wrestling.